for sure. And maybe Lautaro would be one that they'd be more willing to sell for the right price because Lukaku's so prized. So
how do you see this deal for Chelsea? I say that it's true that there is this bid, 100 million euro with Marcos Alonso. Chelsea have a strong interest. Inter turned down this proposal. But the feeling I have from Chelsea, from player, from Inter, is that they will try again for Romelu Lukaku. You have the same feeling, and how do you see this deal?
Yeah, so from my information is that Chelsea much higher than what they bid today, which has come out.
Okay.
And that I think it's a very, very well. I was hearing when Lukaku won the Scudetto that he definitely wanted to stay and repeat it again, go back to back, make sure everybody knows this was not a fluke. But I think from the Lautaro bid and with Lukaku, maybe some teams are thinking, well, there might be a chance to get one of these top players. If Inter, with their financial situation, would they be willing to do business for one of them? And I think maybe that might change the goalposts slightly for Lukaku. He nearly joined them when he went. Special case as well for him. That summer was quite tense. We thought he was going to Chelsea, ended up at Manchester United, and then I think Manchester United had to pay what we called Lukaku tax when they for Matic on the same summer because Chelsea weren't too happy about it.
Yes. And so it's really interesting to see what happens, I think, in the coming days between Lautaro and Lukaku to understand who's leaving, if one is leaving Inter, because Inter directors are keeping saying that they want to keep both players and they are only considering crazy bids. So we will say how strong Inter will be in this story, but both deals are not close to be completed. So it will take some days to see what's gonna happen. And to complete about Chelsea, Mike, what's your feeling on Haaland? Because my feeling now is that it's getting bit complicated. I don't know what do you think about it, but spending 75 million euro on Erling Haaland this summer, in my opinion, would be difficult. So at the moment, Borussia Dortmund say we have not received any bid from Chelsea, and we are convinced that the player is staying. What's your feeling on this one for Chelsea? And now they're trying for Lukaku. It means that Haaland is getting even more complicated, maybe.
So everybody I kind of talk to about strikers coming to the Premier League, when they talk about Haaland, everybody's talking about 2022. Almost maybe that it's so difficult to do this season that people are looking at next season when it would be cheaper. You see, Manchester United had huge success in the market by waiting 1 year for Sancho, and they had a reduced price for that, and maybe this would be the same for Haaland as well. If there is a activation on a clause, that it would be so much cheaper, particularly with finances at the moment, with no fans in the stadium last season and finances reduced. That it just all points towards next summer. You know, as I said before about the Harry Kane thing, you never know when if there's money on the table, you never know what teams might do. But I think that it just makes sense that this would be 2022 rather than 2021 if he comes to the Premier League.
Yes, I agree with you. And I don't know if you agree, but I think it will be, as we always say here, maybe the biggest race for a single player next summer, because I imagine how many clubs could be in the race for Erling Haaland for 75 million euro. For English clubs, Bayern.
I don't remember something.
Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Barcelona, maybe Juventus. How many clubs? It would be incredible.
It would just be. I think he's the one that everybody, particularly at that price, it would just be any club who could offer him, maybe £500,000 a week wages to get him for that price. Because like you say, he's a striker with the excitement around him. It's like no other. He's been perfect since he's been at Dortmund. His rise has just been amazing.
Yes.
Even at Salzburg, it was perfect.
Yes. And Mike, what do you think about Maddison? How do you see this deal? I was saying before that it's not to sign this player.